It is a familiar scene for many parents. You are at a child's birthday party, watching with a mixture of joy and slight apprehension. The room is filled with bright balloons, loud music, and the excited shouts of children running around. Your own child, who was perfectly calm just an hour ago, is now a whirlwind of energy. They are laughing loudly, chasing their friends, and seem unable to stand still for even a moment. You glance over at the party table, laden with colorful cupcakes, fizzy drinks, and a mountain of sweets in party bags. It is easy to connect the dots and think, it must be all that sugar. This thought is a common one. Many parents have experienced this exact moment of concern. They see their child consume a sugary treat and then, shortly after, witness a dramatic spike in their energy levels. The behavior can seem so wild and uncontrollable that blaming the sugar feels like the most logical explanation. It is a story that has been passed down through generations of parents, a piece of common wisdom shared in playgrounds and at school gates. This connection between sugar and hyperactivity has become so ingrained in our culture that we often accept it without question, preparing ourselves for the inevitable sugar rush after any sweet indulgence. The worry can be quite stressful for parents who are trying their best to raise healthy and well-behaved children. You might start to feel anxious every time a sweet treat is offered. Will it lead to a tantrum later? Will it disrupt their sleep schedule? These concerns are completely understandable. You are simply trying to do what is best for your child, and the idea that a simple sweet could cause such a drastic change in behavior is naturally unsettling. This leads many parents to strictly limit sugar, fearing the chaotic aftermath that they have been told is sure to follow. This belief can create a lot of tension around food, especially at social events like parties or family gatherings. Parents might feel they have to police their child's every mouthful, turning what should be a joyful occasion into a stressful one. The child might feel confused or deprived, while the parent feels guilty or stressed. The idea of the sugar rush puts a lot of pressure on everyone. But what if this long-held belief is not as straightforward as it seems? What if the sugar is not the real culprit behind the post-party pandemonium? It is worth taking a closer look at this very common assumption. The notion that sugar makes children hyperactive is one of the most persistent myths in parenting. It is an idea that feels true because we often see the evidence right before our eyes. A child eats a slice of cake, and then they are bouncing off the walls. The cause and effect seem incredibly clear. This belief has been strengthened over the years by anecdotal stories shared between friends, family, and even through media portrayals. We have all heard someone say, "Don't give them any more sugar, they'll be climbing the curtains." The phrase sugar rush itself has become a standard part of our vocabulary, used to describe a sudden burst of frantic energy. This idea began to gain widespread popularity several decades ago, around the same time that concerns about diet and health were becoming more mainstream. Parents became more aware of the ingredients in their children's food, and sugar was often singled out as a problematic substance. It was blamed for a range of issues, from dental cavities to behavioral problems. The link to hyperactivity seemed to make intuitive sense. After all, sugar provides a quick source of energy for the body, so it seemed logical that it could also overstimulate a child's brain and lead to hyperactive behavior. This simple explanation was easy to understand and share. The belief is so powerful because of something called confirmation bias. This is when we tend to look for and remember information that confirms what we already believe. If you expect your child to become hyper after eating sweets, you are more likely to notice and remember the times they do. You might overlook the times they ate sugar and remained perfectly calm, or the times they were hyper without having any sweets at all. The party environment, with its excitement and noise, provides the perfect setting to confirm this belief. The child's behavior fits the expectation, and the sugar gets all the blame. This has led to a culture of caution and sometimes fear around sugar. Many well-meaning parents go to great lengths to create sugar-free environments for their children, believing it is the key to maintaining calm and control. While reducing overall sugar intake is certainly good for a child's general health, basing this decision solely on the fear of hyperactivity might be misguided. It creates a narrative where sugar is the enemy, a trigger for bad behavior. This can make food feel like a battleground. It is important to question whether this long-held belief is actually supported by scientific evidence, or if it is just a compelling story we have been telling ourselves for years. When scientists decided to investigate the sugar rush, they set up a series of clever experiments to get to the bottom of it. Over the past few decades, numerous studies have been conducted to test the link between sugar consumption and children's behavior. The most reliable of these studies were double-blind and placebo-controlled. This means that neither the children, their parents, nor the researchers knew who was receiving a sugary food or drink and who was receiving a sugar-free substitute, often sweetened with an artificial sweetener like aspartame. This method is crucial because it removes the power of expectation from the results. The findings from these rigorous studies have been remarkably consistent and, for many, quite surprising. Over and over again, the research has shown that sugar does not cause hyperactivity in children. In these controlled experiments, children who consumed sugary substances did not display any more hyperactivity, inattention, or disruptive behavior than the children who consumed the sugar-free placebo. Their cognitive performance, such as their ability to focus on tasks or complete puzzles, was also unaffected by the sugar. The very rush that parents were so sure they were seeing simply did not appear under scientific observation. One particularly interesting study highlighted the power of parental expectation. In this experiment, all the children were given a sugar-free drink. However, half of the mothers were told that their child had received a large dose of sugar, while the other half were told the truth. The mothers who believed their children had consumed sugar were significantly more likely to rate their child's behavior as hyperactive. They also tended to be more critical and controlling in their interactions with their child. The children's actual behavior had not changed. It was the parents' perception that had been altered by their belief in the sugar rush. So, if sugar is not the direct cause of hyperactivity, what is happening in the body? When we eat sugar, it is broken down into glucose, which is the body's main source of fuel. The body has a very effective system, involving the hormone insulin, to regulate blood sugar levels and ensure the brain and muscles get a steady supply of energy. While a very large amount of sugar on an empty stomach might cause a slight temporary fluctuation in energy, it is not the dramatic behavior-altering event that the myth of the sugar rush suggests. The scientific consensus is clear. There is no proven direct link between sugar intake and hyperactivity in the vast majority of children. If sugar is not the culprit, then we must ask why children so often seem energetic and wild in situations where sweets are plentiful. The answer usually lies in the environment itself. Think about when children are most likely to eat lots of sugar: birthday parties, holidays like Christmas or Halloween, and family celebrations. These events are inherently exciting and stimulating. There are friends to play with, new toys, loud music, and a general atmosphere of fun and freedom from the usual daily routine. It is this excitement, not the sugar in the cake, that is the most likely cause of their energetic behavior. A child's energy levels are influenced by many factors. Lack of sleep, for example, can often manifest as hyperactive behavior rather than tiredness in young children. The social dynamics of being in a large group of peers can also be incredibly stimulating. Children feed off each other's energy, and a game of chase can quickly escalate into a room full of shouting and running. The context in which sugar is consumed is far more powerful than the sugar itself. A child eating a biscuit quietly at home is unlikely to start bouncing off the walls, but a child eating that same biscuit at a chaotic party might seem to. As a parent, understanding this can be incredibly freeing. It means you can shift your focus from policing sugar to managing the environment. If you know a party is likely to be overstimulating, you can plan for it. Ensure your child is well rested before you go. During the event, look for opportunities for quiet moments. Step outside for a few minutes of fresh air, or find a calmer corner to read a book together. This helps your child to self-regulate their energy levels without them feeling like they are being punished. After the event, plan for a calm wind-down period at home with relaxing activities. The key message for parents is one of reassurance. You do not need to live in fear of the occasional sugary treat. While a balanced diet with limited sugar is vital for your child's long-term health, worrying about a slice of birthday cake causing a behavioral meltdown is unnecessary. Enjoy those special moments. Let your child have the sweet and join in the fun. By understanding that it is the excitement of the occasion, not the sugar, that fuels their energy, you can manage the situation with confidence and less stress. Focus on the bigger picture. A healthy, balanced lifestyle filled with plenty of love, play, and yes, the occasional joyful treat.